Have you ever wondered what makes Superman Superman? For over 80 years, the Man of Steel has been more than just a comic book character. He's been a symbol of hope, truth, and the American way. But that symbol hasn't always looked or acted the same. From the scrappy, social justice warrior of the 1930s to the godlike figure we see today, Superman's journey is a fascinating reflection of our own changing world. So let's fly back in time and explore the incredible evolution of the first and greatest superhero. It all started in 1938. In the pages of Action Comics #1, the world was on the brink of war, and people were struggling through the Great Depression. They needed a hero, and Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster gave them one. But this original Superman wasn't the squeaky clean Boy Scout you might be picturing. He was a tough, no-nonsense champion of the common person. He couldn't fly, but he could leap tall buildings in a single bound. His powers were impressive, but not limitless. More importantly, he fought for the little guy. This Superman would happily smash a corrupt landlord's car, expose a crook politician, or intimidate a mob boss. He was less of a demigod and more of a superpowered social crusader, a direct response to the injustices and anxieties of the era. He was raw, he was powerful, and he was exactly the hero a struggling nation needed. Then came the 1940s and 50s, the golden age of comics and the post-war boom. As America's confidence grew, so did Superman's powers. Suddenly, leaping turned into full-on flight. He gained new abilities like heat vision and X-ray vision. The world felt safer, and Superman became a more establishment figure. He was no longer a radical fighting the system. He was a protector of the status quo. This was the era of the friendly, smiling Superman, a comforting, fatherly figure who assured everyone that everything was going to be okay. He worked with the police, he promoted civic duty, and he fought ever more bizarre and fantastical villains, from mischievous imps to alien masterminds. The stories became less about social commentary and more about wild, imaginative sci-fi adventures. This was the Superman who became a household name, a symbol of post-war optimism and American strength. The 60s and 70s, often called the Silver and Bronze Ages of comics, saw Superman face a new challenge: relevance. The world was changing fast. The optimism of the 50s gave way to social upheaval. A new generation was questioning authority, and heroes were becoming more complex and flawed. Readers started to gravitate towards characters like Spider-Man, who struggled with relatable, everyday problems. In comparison, the all-powerful, never-failing Superman began to feel a little boring. Writers tried to shake things up. They temporarily took away his powers, introduced new and more powerful threats, and focused more on his supporting cast like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. They explored his Kryptonian heritage in greater detail, adding layers to his backstory. The famous Kryptonite Nevermore storyline was a bold attempt to reset the character, making him more vulnerable and his victories more meaningful. While he remained a pillar of the DC universe, the question of how to keep Superman interesting in a more cynical world was a puzzle that creators would continue to tackle for decades. Then in 1986, everything changed. After the massive Crisis on Infinite Earths event, DC Comics rebooted their entire universe, and Superman got his biggest overhaul yet. Writer and artist John Byrne was tasked with modernizing the Man of Steel for a new generation. Byrne's The Man of Steel miniseries presented a Superman who was powerful, but not omnipotent. He was born on Earth, not in a birthing matrix on Krypton. Clark Kent wasn't just a clumsy disguise. It was his real personality. He was raised with strong Midwestern values by his adoptive parents, Jonathan and Martha Kent, who were kept alive and became his moral compass. This was a more human, more grounded Superman. He was still the ultimate hero, but his powers were scaled back, making his challenges feel more significant. This version, which heavily influenced the beloved Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman TV show, defined the character for the late 80s and 90s, striking a perfect balance between the god and the man. The 90s also brought one of the most shocking moments in comic book history, the death of Superman. In a brutal city-leveling battle with the monster Doomsday, Superman made the ultimate sacrifice to save Metropolis. The event was a media sensation, making headline news around the world. It showed that even the invincible could fall. Of course, he eventually returned, but the story left a lasting impact. It proved that Superman wasn't just a powerful being. He was a hero willing to lay down his life for others. This event and his subsequent return cemented his status as a modern myth, a Christ-like figure of sacrifice and resurrection. It added a new layer of depth and tragedy to the character, making his unwavering commitment to humanity even more profound. Entering the 21st century, Superman's evolution continued, especially on the big screen. Christopher Reeve had perfectly embodied the classic, hopeful Superman of the Silver Age in the 70s and 80s, but the new millennium demanded a new take. Superman Returns in 2006 paid homage to Reeves' era, but it was Zack Snyder's Man of Steel in 2013 that truly recontextualized Superman for a post-9/11's world. This was a darker, more conflicted Superman, played by Henry Cavill. He struggled with his identity, the immense weight of his powers, and the fear and suspicion of humanity. The film depicted the immense collateral damage that would result from superpowered battles, forcing audiences to confront the terrifying reality of a God living among us. This interpretation was divisive, with some loving the realistic, gritty approach and others missing the classic optimism. This Superman wasn't just a symbol of hope. He was a question. Can we trust such power? And can one man bear that burden? Today, the conversation about who Superman should be is more alive than ever. We have multiple versions coexisting across different media. On television, Superman and Lois presents a mature family man Superman, balancing saving the world with raising two teenage sons. In the comics, we've seen his son, John Kent, take up the mantle, tackling modern issues and representing a new generation of heroism. And with James Gunn's upcoming film, Superman, we're poised for another fresh interpretation, one that promises to return to the character's core of kindness and hope. So from a Depression-era brawler to a godlike alien, a family man, and a symbol of ultimate sacrifice, Superman has been many things to many people. He's not a static character, frozen in time. He is a living idea, constantly being reinterpreted and reimagined to reflect our hopes, our fears, and our ongoing need for a hero who inspires us to be better. He shows us that no matter how dark the world gets, there is always good, and that one person with a strong moral compass and the courage to act can make a world of difference. That, more than any superpower, is the enduring legacy of the Man of Steel. Thanks for watching! Which version of Superman is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through Kryptonian history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite characters. See you next time.